Hello, my name is Keon Carter. I'm a student in Communications 203, and um, I did my media reflection speech on the state of the state of media and African American. Uh, the reason I chose this topic was because I felt as though it was interesting and people need to be aware of the issues that are going on in terms of African American media. Um, So I'm gonna first talk about my understanding of media terms and concepts as far as African Americans. Today, 205 publications across 29 states and D.C. are part of the 70-plus-year-old trade organization representing America's black press, with Los Angeles as a circulation stronghold despite its relatively lower level of black residents. So that's just some history of you know African American media, and I'll say it, and Los Angeles being the headquarter for how I guess how digital media newspapers are promoted to the public. Social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram play a major role in how media publications are advertised, and they are known as social referrals. And in today's society, digital media is very popular. So a lot of like newspapers or just companies, they try to they want to like they advertise or promote their brand through these social media networks to the so people can so people can re- uh read into their product. Black publishers face the specific challenge of preserving their archives, which holds huge amounts of the history of and by African Americans, along with more problems like declining ad revenue and the need for a more robust digital presence. Because many African Americans that come from a certain type of background, they don't make a high salary, and they have they have low income, so it's harder for them to it would be harder for them to publish their newspapers without the correct funding. In terms of ad revenue, African American newspapers were especially hit hard by tobacco companies, which had long advertised disproportionately to black audiences and spent heavily in print after being banned from advertising on television, reducing or eliminating its print ad buys in the 2000s. And we even still to this day, we see many tobacco and cigarette, commercials on television. And, you know, but, in terms of, African American media, it's like, you know, people of color, they were like, it's almost like they were targeted by these tobacco advertisements to not to not you know to make it more difficult for them to publish their newspapers. And that kind of that was a You know, that was a major setback. Okay, next I'm gonna talk about changes in my thinking that might affect practice in both professional and personal situations. You know, after reading this newspaper. Um, well, first off, I want to say, you know, I'm more aware and cautious of the problems occurring in the African American media. Um, you know, as far as you know, as far as you know, you know, as far as you know, the trials and tribulations that these authors go through when trying, when they're trying to, when they're trying to publish, their newspapers. Uh, they don't. It seems like they have a much more, like they have, much. They have. They. It's like they have a much more difficult, and they have to go through, they have to. It's like they have to go through more of like hassle in order to publish their newspapers to the public. And but like other different types of people, that are like, that are, that have, that have different skin colors, are they could probably have it more easier to publish their newspapers without going through, certain, having to overcome certain, obstacles in order to accomplish that goal. Uh, reading this magazine changed, you know, my thought process in terms of becoming more, observant about the, continuous issues that people of color are up against in the media, both professionally and socially. You know, we do live in a time where, racism does still exist, and you know, and even in terms of the media, and I don't, I think sometimes, we forget that, but it's very important to just, know, like what's going on around us in society, and just, kind of, we need that, like, as I think us, a society as a whole, we need to try to fight fight for change, and try to eliminate, like eliminate, any like racial barriers, and just like come together as people. Um, but yeah, the this particular magazine really, it really caught my attention, and it made me kind of, just just become like, it can make me become more, just aware, and you observe it, and it it really caught my attention. So I think that's a wrap. Thank you for listening.